We're joined now by HBO boxing analyst Max Kellerman. Max, it came as a big surprise to most of us in boxing that Canelo Alvarez's opponent for his May 7 pay-per-view is British star Amir Khan. And even at Canelo's preferred catch weight of 155 pounds, Khan is seen as by far the smaller man. What's the history of this kind of speed versus power matchup?
Khan's the biggest name they could get that they felt was safe for Canelo and on Cinco de Mayo weekend that could do a pay-per-view number. You look throughout boxing history from, you mentioned James J. Corbett beating John L. Sullivan once upon a time. He didn't move up, but he was the smaller, faster man. The Cinderella Man, James Braddock against Max Baer, same sort of thing. Michael Spinks, Larry Holmes, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler. In all these examples, the smaller guy moving up to fight the bigger guy is usually fighting a guy a little past his prime at least. An example that maybe makes sense here, and I'm not suggesting these fighters are on the level of Roy Jones and James Toney, but Jones moved up from middleweight to fight still in his prime, super middleweight James Toney, who, like Canelo, was a fantastic counterpuncher, an aggressive boxer puncher, but didn't have the quickest feet. And Roy used his sensational speed to befuddle James Toney, and ideally, that's what Khan's going to try to do to Canelo.
We heard what Bernard thought of Pacquiao Bradley 3. Because he's going against the most esteemed trainer in the sport, Freddie Roach with Pacquiao, is your buddy Teddy Atlas with Bradley looking here at the biggest fight of his career?
No, I would say that when he had Michael Moore fighting Evander Holyfield for the lineal heavyweight championship, that was the biggest in terms of what was at stake. But personally for Teddy, I think emotionally this is the biggest, because for the first time in Teddy's life, it seems to me, he has a charge who is not only willing but eager to do all the things Teddy wants him to do. And so Teddy feels an enormous burden of responsibility to Tim Bradley to justify the trust that Tim has put in him. And I think that Teddy is suffering from that in a way that makes this emotionally the biggest night of his life.
How long do we have to wait for GGG versus Canelo before that becomes, like Mayweather-Pacquiao before it, an ongoing symbol of this sport's inability to get out of its own way?
I think that's a really good question, and I think there is an answer to this. If Triple G and Canelo, assuming they both win their fights before then, is not made by Cinco de Mayo of next year, that's the expiration date, after which people say, come on, guys, get it together. This fight needs to be made. It needed to be made a year ago.
All right. Thanks very much, Max.
Appreciate it, Jim.